Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So basically, welcome to this another part for the Python interview series. And basically, today we are going to see the next 5 questions in this interview series. Right, so we'll be seeing out that what are the questions related to that. We'll be seeing the answers, and even we'll be just revising the subtopics and a little bit of around the topic. Right, so this is the whole idea that we are gonna follow. So let's get started without wasting out some time. So here we are, my first question. But before that, just let me quickly take one pen color so that I can just write properly. Right here. Okay, just 1 second more. And right here, this one. Okay, so my very first question is that what is the difference between deep and shallow copy? Now, here basically I need to list out the differences between the deep copy and between the shallow copy. Right, this is the very first question that has actually came here. So let's get started with the things and let me start writing out the answer. And with that only I will just start explaining the things as well. Okay. So I will just write it right here that shallow copy. First of all, I will be discussing about the shallow copy. After that, I will be discussing about the deep. Okay. Right here. So shallow copy is used okay is used when a new instance when a new instance type when a new instance type gets created and it keeps the values and it keeps the values that are and keeps the values that are copied in the new instance. So the very first thing is that whenever we just come out with a difference, that we just need to differentiate something, so we need to define something like that. So in that case, the very first thing that we do is that we basically write out the use. Okay, we just basically write out the use, that what is the use of this thing or what is the use of that thing, right? So the very first thing that I just wrote about the shallow copy is that shallow copy is used when a new instance type gets created and it keeps the values that are copied in the new instance. Right? This is the very first difference for the shallow copy. I'm just writing all the differences for the shallow copy for the ones, and after that I'm just writing all the things for the deep copy. Okay, I would just not differentiate and just make some lines and write that. Okay, right here. After that, the second thing that comes for the shallow copy is that. So I would just write that, and just let me come down so that I can just get some spaces. Okay, that's one step upper side, right? Okay. So shallow copy right here. So shallow copy is used. So shallow copy is used to copy the reference pointers is used to copy the reference pointers just like just just like it just like it copies the values. Okay, so this is basically used for copying. Shallow copy is actually used to copy the reference pointers just like it copies the values, right? So this is another thing regarding the shallow copies, right? Other than that, basically there is many more things which are basically there. One more thing is that shallow copy allows faster execution of the of the program and basically it depends, okay, on the depends on the size and it depends on the size of the data that is used, right? So basically shallow copy allows the faster execution of the program and even it depends on the size of the data that is used, right? This is all about the shallow copy. Let me just revise that once and we'll be writing about the deep copy. Okay, so right here that shallow copy is used when a new instance type gets created and it keeps the values that are copied in the new instance. Shallow copy is used to copy the reference pointers just like it copies the values. Okay, shallow copy allows faster execution of the program and it depends on the size of the data that is used, right? This is all of the things regarding the shallow copy which you need to mention for the difference. Now let's move towards the deep copy and let's see that basically what are the things that differentiates the shallow copy and the deep copy, right? So here deep copy is used. First of all, we'll write in the use, right? So deep copy is used to store is used to store is used to store values that are already copied. Okay, that are already copied. Basically is used to store out the values that are already copied, right? Other than that, deep copy deep copy does not deep copy doesn't copy the reference copy the reference copy the reference pointers to the object. So basically, it does not copy the reference pointers to the objects, right? Now, basically, it actually makes the reference of the objects and the new objects that are pointed by some other objects get stored, right? It basically understand it in a way that the changes it basically is used to make the reference to an object, right? This is used for making a reference to an object, right? So let's study about the execution. So in that case, what is the case of the execution? So makes deep copy makes execution makes the execution of the let me come down program of the program slower. It basically makes the execution of the program slower due to, and basically what's the reason? Due to making of certain copies certain copies for each object for each object that is being called. Okay, so basically it makes the execution of the program slower due to the making of certain copies for each object that is being called. Right, so these are some differences which I have just listed here regarding the shallow copy and the deep copy. Now let's see that what are they. So shallow copy is used when a new instance type gets created and it keeps the values that are copied in the new instance. And what about the deep copy? So deep copy is basically used to store the values that are already copied. Right, this is the very first difference that comes. Other than that, deep copy does not copy the reference pointers to the object. Basically, does not copy that thing, right? And shallow copy allows faster execution of the program and it depends on the size of the data that is used. And for the deep copy makes execution of the program slower due to making of certain copies for each object that is being called. Right, so these are some differences which we can list between the shallow copy and between the deep copy, right? I hope I just made this thing very clear to you that what are the differences between the shallow copy and the deep copy. Right, now let's move towards the next question of ours. Okay, let me just take it to above side right here. My next question is that basically what does len do? Now this is a very simple question and I'm sure that you must be knowing the answer for this particular question, right? Because this is a function which is frequently used, right? We just use this function many a times in our programs. So let me just write that it is used to determine the length of a string. Okay, so this length function is actually used to determine the length of a string, a list, an array, etc, etc, right? So length function is actually used to define out the length of a string, a list, an array, or etc, right? Basically whatever you are having. Okay, so this is the use of the len function. Now if you just want to use out the len function, I can just give you a simple example, very simple example here. That is, let's say I just wrote example. Let's say I just wrote a string that is my underscore string is equal to, let's say, Python. I just write here Python. Okay, so my underscore string is my variable and Python is a string which I have just stored into this my underscore string variable. Now I would just simply write here len, and inside this len I'm just writing the name for the variable for which I just want to find out the length. So I just want to find out the length for the my underscore string variable, because in that I have stored this Python. Right, so as soon as you just write this program and run it, you will be getting the desired output, desired length, whatever you are having here. Right, so I hope I just made this thing very clear to you, that how we just use out this length function, and basically how we just use this as well, and what's the use, right? Okay. Now let's move towards the another question for now, and that my third question goes here, that how will you capitalize the first letter of the string, right? Now basically, let's say you are given that you need to capitalize the first letter of the string. Okay, so now how you will be basically doing that thing. Okay, so to capitalize the first letter of the string, we already have a built-in function in the strings that is actually used to capitalize the first letter, and that function actually is capitalize only, right? So let's see that how we'll be writing out this answer, right? Okay, so I would just write that in Python, the capitalize L-I-Z-E, right? In Python, the capitalize method, it is, you can just call that method, as well as you can just call it as function as well, okay? So in Python, the capitalize method, what does it actually do? It capitalizes, okay, just one second. Okay. Basically, in Python, the capitalize method capitalizes the first letter of a string. Okay, the first letter, the first letter of a string. It just capitalizes the first letter of the string, and if the string already consists, if the string already, let me just come down, if the string already consists, of a capital letter, like this, okay? If the string already consists of a capital letter at the beginning, then basically it returns you the same string. Okay, just let me write that. Then it returns the original string. Okay, then it will basically return you out the original string, right? So basically, I hope that this is clear to you, that what is the use of the capitalize function. So basically, the if you are having let's say you are having a string, and in that string the first letter is not capital, okay, and you just want to make that first letter as capital, so simply you can just use out this capitalize function, and that will actually make the first letter of the string capital for you. Other than that, second case comes here, that let's say if you're having a string, and in that string the first letter is automatically capital, and then also just apply out the capitalize function. So what it will do, it will just not change that capital into a small, it will just not do something like that. It will simply return you the string that you are actually having, right? So I hope I just made this thing very clear to you, that what's the use of this capitalize function. Right, let me just go above, and now here is the fourth question. Okay, my question number 4 for today is that basically what is self in Python. Now we just need to define that what is self in Python, right? Okay, so right here. Okay, what is self in Python? Now I'm just writing the answer. So I would just write, okay, this is too much thin, right? Let me just take that previous one only that we were taking right here. Okay, just one second. Okay, fine. Right here, so I will just start writing that the self. Okay, now self is an instance. We all know that it is an instance of an object, right? So just write that thing as well here. So self is an instance of an object, right? It is basically an instance of an object of a class, right? This is the very first definition, that we all know that what self is actually in Python programming, right? So self is an instance of an object of a class, right? Now basically, what do I have here is the next thing that I have is self is an instance of an object of a class. Next, basically, I'll be including that in Python, this is explicitly included included as a first parameter, Okay, so whenever we just define a class and inside that we define a function, so self is the very first parameter that is actually included explicitly. Okay, this is the very first parameter that is included explicitly, and that is basically automatically, right? Now, basically, we are just not going to talk about some other languages because this is not the case in the Java, right? So I've just not write that as thing here, okay? Because here we just discuss about the Python, okay? Right, so explicitly included as a first parameter. Other than that, what is the other thing that it does? So it helps to, it basically helps to differentiate. Let me just come down first of all. Okay, right here. So it basically helps to differentiate between, it helps to differentiate between the methods, between the methods and attributes of a class with local variables, and here it is variables, right? So basically it basically even helps us to differentiate between the methods and attributes of a class with local variables, right? Now, other than this, there is one more thing regarding the self function that I will just let you tell you. So I will just write that thing here, that the self variable, okay, the self variable in the init method, refers, the self variable in the init method refers to the created object, while in other methods, it refers it while in other methods it refers to the object, whose method was called, right? So the self variable in the init method refers to the created object, while in other method it refers to the object whose method was called, right? Now, what do it is meant from this line? So this line actually say that we have the self variable in the init method as well, right? We just have that thing. So that so the self variable in the init method refers to the created object. The object which we have created, it actually refers to the self variable which we have inside the init function. Now, in the other method, basically it refers to the object whose method was called. So basically, in other ones, it basically refers to the refers to the object whose methods was called, right? So I hope I just made this thing very clear to you that what is the use of the self function. Now, basically, let's move towards the last question for today, and that is basically what are local and global variables in Python, right? Let's see about those things. So first of all, I'll be defining the global variables, and after that, I'll be defining out the local variables, right? Okay. So global variables. So the variables declared outside a function, outside a function or in a global scope, so the variables declared outside a function or in a global scope are called global variables, right? So the variables declared outside a function or in a global scope are called the global variables. Now, these variables can be let me just come down. Okay, so these variables can be accessed by any function in the program, okay? So these are the variables that can be accessed by any of the functions in the program, okay? Let's talk about the local variables. So this was about the global variables, right? Okay, let me just go above for a while, just 1 second, right here. Right, for the global variables, that the variables declared outside a function or in a global scope are called the global variables. These variables can be accessed by any function in the program. Now, talking about the local variables, I would just write that any variable, okay, so any variable declared, any variable declared inside a function, is known as a local variable. So any of the variables declared inside a function is known as a local variable. Okay, so this this variable is present in the this variable is present in the local space. This variable is present in the local space and not in the global space. Okay, so this variable is present in the local space, not in the global space. So any variable declared inside the function is called as a local variable, right? Now let's quickly see an example for this thing as well, or how we can just say about the local and the global variables, right? So let's say when I just take it one variable, let's say a is equal to 1. Okay, I just make a function that is def mul, that is my multiply, and the bracket like this, let's say. Okay, inside this, let's say I define a function like variable, and that is b is equal to, let's say, 5. Okay, and I just wrote c is equal to a multiplication b, right? And simply I would just print out the print here as c. Okay, and simply outside the function I would just call out that function. Okay, that is my multiplication, or this one right here. Okay, so I would just write it as this, right? So now this one which I have just made it here, now this one is actually my global variable because I have declared this outside my function, right? And this b that I have made, actually this is my local variable because I have declared that inside the function, right? So I hope that you have got a clear and a fair idea regarding the global and the local variables. So let's quickly see about all of the questions that we have discussed today. So the very first question was that what is the difference between the deep and the shallow copy? So we had seen the differences between the deep and between the shallow copy. After that, we had seen that what does len actually do. So len was a function that we had seen that what is the use of this function. Other than that, we had seen that how will you capitalize the first letter of the string. So we had seen that if you just want to capitalize the first letter of a string, so how will you be able to do that thing, right? Then we had seen that what is self in Python. We had seen that what actually the self in Python means. And then we had at last seen that what are local and what are global variables in Python, right? So basically, I hope that you must be very clear with all of these 5 questions, the explanation, the answers, and all of these things are absolutely clear to you, right? So we'll be meeting with some other questions in the next video. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.